Okay, big topic here. This is absolutely a question I get often, and it's a little bit of a passion for people. So I'm going to try and make a video to help people get their head around how to get a job overseas. Now, I'm going to focus on Australia because that's my background, that's what I know, but you can apply this to other countries as well. So, how are you, as a mining industry professional, going to get a job in Australia? And what do you need to do once you get it? All right. So, now getting a job overseas is is a whole order of magnitude more difficult than getting a job within your own country. So, yes, the process is the same. You're still going to submit a cover letter with a resume, but you have to be aware that styles may be different in different countries. So you're going to have to start thinking of that document being a globally suitable document. For example, your resume. Some companies have automatic methods for scanning resumes. So they do it with computer systems, looking for keywords. So you need to know certain formatting for that. Other things that can matter, for example, in Australia, do not include a photograph on your resume. Don't do it because it introduces a whole new layer of complexity around diversity. So people need to judge you in Australia on what you can do, not other aspects: religion, age, gender, nationality, race. So it's really important that you don't add extra information that's going to actually harm your application. Now, in other countries, you absolutely have to add a photograph. I understand that. But if you're looking to secure a job for Australia or Canada, they're two big countries at the moment who are massively under-resourced and calling for professionals to consider immigrating in the mining industry. Then you need to understand some of the customs, cultural requirements, and also legal requirements. So you need to do some research into how to get your cover letter to say what they want. How is your resume expected to be formatted to give you the best opportunities going forward? So that's the application. Then comes the interview. Now, you need to stand out to be able to get a job with a requirement for immigration. You actually have to be noticeably better at a lot of things than a local hire, because companies have requirements around how many visas they can hold. And there are certain legal things that you have to be able to show to be eligible for those visas. And it's expensive for these companies. They use solicitors for visas. They have to pay rather high fees for holding visas. They have all these extra conditions in the employment contracts, flights home once a year for you and your family. They don't come cheap. And so they need to see what you can do above and beyond what a local hire, someone from within the country, can do for them. So when you go to the interview, you need to sell yourself at that level. You need to show what extra things you bring as an international person than a local person will bring. And you need to spend some time thinking about that. Your communication is going to have to be clear. You can't sort of go in and then think about, oh, I don't really know that word. And okay, you have to be confident. You'll make mistakes. That's fine. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fluent. But you do have to be clear in how you communicate. Know what it is that you're trying to say and say it. You use the wrong word here and there, the grammar's not right. It doesn't matter. The message will get through. Okay. So now you've submitted the application, you've had the interview, and they're going to offer you the position. Excellent. Do be aware that there are a few things you need to consider. One is, for jobs in Australia, you're probably going to need IELTS. You will need IELTS unless you come from a native English-speaking country. Now, the IELTS test tests your ability to speak English, but is very, 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 very strict. They're looking for certain measures. They're looking for certain outcomes. And you need to know what that test is asking you for, what you need to deliver, and what score you need. Now, my understanding, or my research, talking with people who have gone through this process, is that mining professionals in Australia need an IELTS score of 5.5. And certain positions are going to need a score of 7 and above. Now, my very limited experience with Canada is that they don't have that 5.5. It's a 7 and above. And 7 and above is equivalent to C1 level of English in the CEFR ranking, which means advanced. So if your English isn't quite at that advanced level, then you need to learn what metrics the test will look for so that you can score at that level on those things. So that's really important. It'd be really disappointing to get all the way through applications and interviews and then not get the score on IELTS that you need. The other factor you're going to have to think about is the type of visa you hold. So yes, the company will get you a visa, but do some research into the conditions of the visa. If, for example, you're looking to move to Australia permanently, that takes a certain visa. So within the mining industry in Australia, it's quite easy at the moment for companies to get a TSS visa, a temporary skills shortage visa. But be aware, there are 2 subsections within that visa. One is a short-term and one is a medium-term visa. The short-term visa cannot be extended enough time for you then to apply for permanent residency. The medium-term visa can be. So if you are hoping to permanently resettle in Australia, you're going to need a medium-term visa. Medium-term TSS visa. So I'm just trying to introduce people who have this great idea. Let's immigrate, get a job, go to Australia. Geologists are in high demand. Let's do it. It may not be so easy. There is some complexity around it. But once you know the system, you know how it works, you know what you need to do, then you can do it. So start researching. It's all online. It's all available online. If you need some direction, reach out to me, send me an email, contact me any way you know how, and I will try and help you, direct you to the websites that have the authentic material. If you are not sure if your English is at the right level, you can do a free placement test with me and find out. I can help you to understand what it is you need to do to get your English to where it needs to be. All of that can be, we can talk about that, no problem. But don't just think, I'm a geologist. Geologists are needed in Australia. I'll do that. You're going to have to do a lot of research. The first thing you should be doing is looking at the Australian job site, seek, seek.com.au, and have a look at the kind of jobs that are available, what they're looking for, what skills they're looking for, and then you can start to position yourself how you might apply for them. What do you need to do? What do you need to show? And start from there. Best of luck if this is your passion, because now's the time.